Hello everybody and welcome back to Gardens and Crystals with me, Wesley Peterson, and today I am going to be working on the border that I have behind me here that has a few different types of evergreen plants in it and also has a lot of lovely fern plants in here. And I want to get in now while it's still winter and while I still have time before the border completely fills out. I want to remove some of my ferns and replace them with hostas. And I'm doing this because I want to have a little bit of extra variety in my border. Now this border looks absolutely gorgeous in the summer with all the ferns that come out. And if you see here, this little clippet of a video I took when I did a tour of my garden last year, you can see how wonderful and big all the ferns are when they come out, and they get bigger and bigger every year as they bunch out. And that is another reason why I want to make this video, because I want to show you how easy it is to take up a root ball of ferns and divide it so you can make yourself a lot of new plants to spread around in different areas of your garden. And I also want to show you the roots of the hosta that I'm going to be putting in here to take those ferns places. And the hosta I've decided that I want to put in here, they get lovely big leaves, lovely kind of greeny grey leaves. They're really, really beautiful, very big. This is a very big growing hosta. So it will do very well in amongst the ferns here and these very spiky juniper bushes that I have around, and the boxwoods and different things. All sorts of different plants that slugs and snails don't like to eat on. So I'm hoping that my hostas nestled in the middle of all these types of plants this year will be able to flush out their leaves and stay looking beautiful for the whole of the summer. Because last year I put these hosta into borders outside the front of my annex, flanking the door into the guest area, and they got completely decimated by slugs. Really, really badly. There was hardly anything left, huge holes, whole leaves completely tuned down to the bottom of the petiole. So it didn't work. So I put them in pots and enjoyed the last bits I had for the rest of the season. But I really would like to have some hostas in the garden, in the borders, and not just in pots. I have a lovely hosta corner in Yorkim's Corner, and I definitely want to keep those hostas in pots and protect them, and I like seeing the different varieties all together, but I am going to also try my best to keep some out in the garden. So that's what's going to happen behind me here. At the same time, before I do that, I have these juniper bushes behind me that are browning out a lot at the bottom. And that is because they're very thick. They get a lot of needles on them, very spiky needles, and there's not enough airflow, and especially during the summer, there's no light that gets to them. So all of those needles are browned out, and they're just a thick mass at the bottom of these junipers, and they don't look very healthy and nice because of that, despite the top being very green, lush, and them growing out absolutely fine in the top. So as I said, in the summer, I won't be able to see that bottom part, and the top part is green. It looks beautiful. But now during the winter seasons, I can see that. But I do want to encourage more airflow around the bottom of the plants so that they don't get bacterial infections at any point, and to help them flush out even more in the top. So I'll do that before I start taking out the ferns and replanting the Hosta Empress Wu. And just to show you here how brown these juniper are at the bottom, you can see these ones and the ones over here. Now the ones over here on my right hand side aren't as bad as the ones on the left hand side, and in the middle you can see a variegated rhododendron. So I'm going to get in and start pruning back these bushes before we start with anything else. So it's really satisfying finally getting in and sorting out these bushes so that I can see their stems. And I actually like seeing the stems on these plants. I'll do a little bit now, and then in the future, I'll do a little bit more. So now the junipers are sorted out a little bit better than they were. I have pruned a lot of the lower branches off, and now there's a lot more airflow between them, and that should help these plants to flush out more at the top. Now I am ready to get my 2 first balls of ferns out of this border. So here is the first ball, and in a moment I'll show you how to split it up. It doesn't take me long to get these root balls up at all. And here is my 3rd and final ball of fern that I want to take out for now. Look at all the old leaves hanging on and giving goodness to the soil for the next season. Fix the holes. Oh. So I've just dug out the holes a little bit deeper to be able to plant in my Hosta Empress Wu. So there'll be 2 plants, and I think they're going to look fabulous here in the summer. So here I have one of my Hosta Empress Wu root balls that's ready to be replanted into the border now. And I am so thankful that it's a beautiful, sunny, warm day here in February in the south of Sweden. An absolutely clear blue sky, and it is +4 degrees Celsius. Perfect time for me to get on and get these back into the ground. But you can see the stalk at the top, and the roots are absolutely wonderful. So let's get them protected again as quickly as possible. So here I just want to show you a snippet of how beautiful the Hosta Empress Wu looks together with these wonderful fern plants. These are exactly the same fern that I planted in front of our annex here. And you can see the combination is absolutely gorgeous together. So you can imagine how it's going to look in the border behind me that I'm working on here. So I'm really looking forward to this summer and this combination together. Beautiful. Now for number 2. And that is my hostas in place. So now I'm ready to show you how I separate my fern root balls. So I'm just going to get my fern root balls and place them in front of me here. I have 3, and I have this container so that I can lift them, and once I've split them up I can take them over to the area of my garden called Triangle Garden, which is in our Crystal Woods area. And I have a border there that I really want to fill out with ferns as an uncanopy to the trees that I have growing there. So this is really a simple operation. So this first ball I have here, I can already see just by looking at it that it has 4 areas that I can easily saw off into new plants. And they're a decent amount of root ball so that they'll be able to produce a few fronds for this season. So let's just get on with this. They grow a thick mat of fine roots, and that's why it's so easy to split up these plants. The root ball stays together very easily, and these plants are survivors. They've been around for millions of years on Earth. They know what to do to survive. So let's get on with this. I have the first one here. Just saw through. And there's a hard root ball in here, but so, as I said, they have a thick mat of roots. And there we have it. There's the first ball, and if you look at the back, you can see where I've sawn it. There's plenty enough of the plant here to sustain this piece and all of these roots. They're very healthy and doing very well. So this should come up absolutely fine this season. And if I wanted to, I could go in and prune this off into 2 more separate pieces, but I'll keep it like this so I get a nice sized plant already this season. So the first one to go into my container. And then I just carry on with the rest. Another one here, an easy breakaway one I can feel. Saw, saw, saw. And that's number 2. And, well, as you can see, a huge amount of roots. And I suggest keeping as many of the roots, of course, on your plant to give it a fighting chance in its new position. Here, There are 2 more I can feel. I was right. So, in between those, and saw down the middle. There, I got 4 plants out of 1, so I can fill out a larger area. Isn't that just amazing? And to think I'm doing this on, what is it today? The 26th of February 2022, middle of winter, but look at the sun. It's so warm. It's just a perfect time to do this because these little drumsticks will start coming up in just a couple of months. So, the next ball here, what have we got going on in here? This one actually is a tight ball in the middle of all of the roots I can see, and it's actually impenetrable. So I'm not going to saw down in between this one because I'll probably damage this one too much. So this one I'm going to leave as a complete plant. So that's 5 I have then. Let's see how this last one's looking. And this one's got a lot of leaves on it that I can just pull off. First, look at this. This is all goodness for my border. Now, I hope this one is going to be able to be divided into a few plants at least. So there's actually something amazing about this one plant that I really want to show you. It's already got a lot of drumsticks ready to burst. And I can see the shape, and they're still protected in this protective layer they have on top of them in the middle of this ball. And once again, by splitting this, I'm probably going to lose some drumsticks, but I'll still have enough to create myself 2 plants. I'm going to split this into 2, but let me show you these wonderful drumsticks first. So look in there. Isn't that gorgeous? Lovely big drumsticks on this fern, late February. And the reason why I really need to get in and do this now. I just find plants so amazing. So I am going to do this. I am going to lose a few throngs, but I need 2 new plants. So we're going to do this. Choose a spot that looks like it's in the middle and saw. Well, the amazing thing about this is I sawed this directly down the middle and not a single one of these throngs has been damaged. Not a single one. I am so pleased this went so well. Let me bring them in to show you. So there's the first half, and look at all the throngs. Still intact. 100% intact. And the huge base of the plant, full of energy and full of roots. So it was no problem whatsoever for this plant to be sawn into 2 pieces. And I'm actually wondering if I want to try my luck. If that went so well with 2 pieces, I could make 4 plants. So this one has 6 little fronds coming out. So I could put 3 on each one. I'll test it and see how it goes. I think I can do this. If I do the same again, just watch where I cut. So I got 2 more plants. No damage whatsoever. Not a single throng has fallen off. They both have a huge base and they both have lots of roots. These are going to go on and be beautiful plants this year. They have 3 big fronds on them each. Let me get the other side done now. So how many plants was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. And when I've done this one, I'll have 9 separate root balls to spread out in my triangle garden. This is amazing. And there we go, 2 more. And I couldn't be happier. But I did actually make a mistake in my flower bed behind me. I took one of these ferns out from a spot where I actually want it to grow. So now I can put a piece back in that spot and still have plants to plant into my other border. And if I wanted to, I could go in and take more of the balls I have in here that are very big now, split them in half and get a few more plants. And I'm actually thinking I might do that. So now I'm just going to throw back some of this soil on top of the plants I've just planted. And the rest is just good for my grass. There you go. My grass will love those nutrients. So seeing as this was such a fantastic success, I am actually going to take more of my plants up and split them. I do want those root balls to be quite big in here still, so I'm only going to halve them, put half back, and then the half that I'm going to put into my triangle garden, I will split into 2 at least, I hope, and be able to get more smaller plants. First one. Second one. Third one. And look at this one. It still has green leaves. It's had green leaves all winter. That's amazing. And it has its fronds coming up in the middle here. So amazing to see. Lots of roots, nice clump. This one I'm not going to be splitting. This one I'll keep as it is because it's a small clump, but perfect for my other garden. So let's get splitting now so I can get some back in the border and some out to triangle garden. This one is already breaking away with the clump here. So that was one quick and easy one. And this one also has 2 lumps that are naturally split. So it's just a matter of dividing the roots. So now I have 2 more for my container. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 plants. This one to go back, and then we'll see what we get out of this one. And again, that worked out really well with no broken fronds. And this one I'll make into 2. This one I'll keep to put back in my border. So there we go, this worked out again. This means I have 12 plants for triangle garden. Fantastic. And 2 more to put back where they were. Let's get these planted back in the border, and then I'll see you in triangle garden. So here we are in the area of our garden called Triangle Garden, here in the Crystal Woods area. And this is where I'm going to be planting out all of my ferns. So the first thing I want to do is place them out in the different areas so that I can spread them out kind of evenly, and then get my spade and just plant them. So let's get on with this. Just a couple of months wait and this will be a mound of green. So now the container's empty, I'm just going to get them into the ground. There are endless projects to be done in the garden all the time in the different areas, and that's what keeps me motivated and going on. It's all about the process. It's not just about the final result, because things change all the time, continually in a garden. Well, that's me done with this video in this beautiful sunshine here on this late February day. And I hope you've been inspired to get out into your garden and split up your perennial plants so that you can spread them into other areas of your garden and enjoy the wonderful display they will have in just a couple of months. So all I have to say now is thank you very much once again for watching Gardens and Crystals with me, Wesley Peterson. Please remember to like, subscribe and hit the bell so you know when my next video will be coming up. And I will see you again very, very soon. Goodbye.